Sometimes it's like whenever you sit right down to work, another email alert dings on your phone, or another roommate barges in with some quite random disaster. Busy people need to suffer many distractions, and learning to barter them are often a challenge. But it doesn't got to be. You'll learn to prioritize tasks and find the items that demand your attention the foremost, then plan for knocking the foremost important things off your to-do list by minimizing distractions. In this video we'll provide you with some advice to extend your focus. 1. Write down everything you'd wish to aim to do. If you are feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and unfocused, making an inventory is the only and quickest way to simplify and assist you plan an attack. To hunt out what you'd wish to concentrate on now and thus place everything else within the background, make an inventory of the items that are pressing on your mind. Short-term tasks should be things that are urgent. What must be done today, or by the very best of the week. You opt the time frame, but decide to keep it as urgent as possible. Long-term goals also are important, but as long as you translate them into an inventory of specific short-term things that you simply can do. If become a doctor is on your list of long-term goals, and is stressing you out, it's not something that you simply are becoming to be ready to make happen before lunch. But you'll start researching med schools. 2. Order the list. How you opt on to assign importance to the tasks and prioritize them will depend upon you and on your list, but there are several ways of going about it and making your job easier. Don't spend an excessive amount of some time tweaking the list, accompany your gut instinct and acquire things so you'll start. How is that the A, B, C method, which breaks down tasks by A, must do, vital tasks that possesses to be done today. Example, finish the report today by the 4:30 deadline. B, a task which may not be immediate, but will become an A priority eventually. Example, get all tax documents together so on file by next month. C, tasks of least importance, although must be done. Example, shred duplicate file. Organize consistent with importance. Identify the foremost important tasks on your list and put them at the absolute best, ranking them consistent with how critical the task is to you. So, if you've to write down a composition today, put away your laundry, and return a Redbox DVD, the tasks should probably be there in order. Organize consistent with difficulty. For a few of individuals, putting the foremost difficult tasks up front and getting them out of the way is the only way to approach a to-do list, while others like better to start out small and progressively get bigger. It might be easier to focus more on reading a chapter for your history class if you get your math homework out of the way first. 3. Estimate what proportion time you'll got to accomplish each task. Next to every item, it are often helpful to draw up a quick estimate of what proportion time it'll take you to actually complete it. Again, don't spend many a while calculating, or stressing over this detail. You're doing not even need an actual number, just break each item into a category called quick or slow so you'll know when to assign each task. If you recognize you'll not be ready to complete all of your history research within the 10 minutes you've to urge something started, you'll put it within the rear of your mind and do something else instead in conjunction with a while. Start the laundry, or write up a thank you note to someone you've been going to get in tuned with. That's employing a while wisely. 4. Pick the primary thing you'd wish to aim to do. After giving some consideration to time and thus the importance of the tasks, you will need to put something at the absolute best of the list. Decide what it's that demands your attention immediately at this instant and put it there. It might be the foremost important thing on the list, or the foremost timely, but whatever it's something that you simply are becoming to aim to do and work on until it's finished, or finished enough for your purposes. 5. Put the list away. Be confident and secure in knowing that you've made a to-do list and you'll put it away and ignore it for a quick time. Once you recognize what task you're going to finish immediately, having the list looming over you'll just be distracting and should keep you scattered. Put the list away, during a drawer, or elsewhere you'll not be ready to see it. Nothing else matters immediately but the thing on the absolute best of your list. Desktop stickies are great little reminder tools for lots of people on their laptops, but consider hiding them when you really need to concentrate on something. Do not be stressing about the party you've to urge organized for later if you're writing a composition. Put the list out of your mind by putting it out of sight. 6. Make a to-don't list. Make an inventory of things which may not happen immediately. Although counterintuitive, removing tasks from your mental list helps you free yourself to undertake to the items that you simply actually need to undertake to. For example, you will need to work late. Therefore, you can't make dinner tonight. Your race meet conflicts with the yearbook meeting. You cannot do both. 7. Find a quiet place to work. Working somewhere you'll not be distracted by TV, side conversations, and other chatter is totally essential to learning the thanks to focus. Sometimes, it's tempting to think that sitting within the living room alongside your roommates or your family could also be a far better and fewer stressful because of work, but it'll end up taking twice as long and thus the work are getting to be nearly as good. If you've to undertake to something that demands your attention, head to a quiet corner in your room, or head bent the library. If you can't work somewhere quiet, consider investing in sound reduction headphones that'll help to cut out the chatter and center you into what you're doing, whatever it's. If you are doing not want fancy headphones, inspect noise generators online, letting ambient music or background static overwhelm the distracting conversations happening around you. 8. Turn off your phone and put it away. It's not just calls and texts anymore, now you've to worry about social networking updates, emails coming through, and words with friends challenges doping up on your phone every 5 seconds. There's nothing more distracting than a cell phone. Turn it off and put it away once you bought to focus. Putting your phone on silent still makes it easy to ascertain. It's better to physically put it somewhere it'll be difficult to access. If you're working in your room, charge your phone in another room. If your phone proves very distracting, consider eliminating certain time-suck apps from your phone. You are doing not actually need Facebook and Twitter on there. 9. Set a specific amount of some time to work on one thing. When you're on the brink of start, inspect the clock. What proportion time do I got to work? What proportion time will you'd wish to finish the project? What proportion time are you ready to afford to supply it today? Decide how long you're getting to figure on the task at hand and acquire cracking. Schedule periodic breaks. It's normal to work 50 minutes on, then take 10 minutes off to urge up, walk around, get a drink, and do something else for a brief time. It'll be less tempting to look at a funny YouTube video immediately if you recognize you'll be able to in another 20 minutes anyway and not feel guilty about it. 10. Make it impossible to waste time online. Most people work on computers, which can be a shaky proposition for plenty of individuals. Your composition is true nearby to Facebook, Wikipedia, and BuzzFeed, meaning that no matter how deep you're into some good work, writing, research, or whatever demands your digital attention, an honest YouTube downward spiral isn't quite click away. Learn to acknowledge your time-wasting habits and head them off at the pass. The easiest because of make it difficult to screw around online is to point out the online off. Shut off your Wi-Fi connection so you'll not be able to go browsing and fiddle. Stay focused, antisocial, leech block, and cold turkey are all blockers that you simply can install if you would like to use the online to end your work. These will block specific websites, or your whole connection surely periods of some time that you simply can customize. If you struggle with this, it are often an honest idea. 11. Optimize your social media and email filters. Sometimes, you've the only intentions and still social media sucks you in. We are saying to ourselves, I've got 5 minutes, I'm just going to inspect Facebook quickly, and an hour later you're elbow deep in your roommate's high school frenemies vacation pictures from 6 years ago. How does this happen? Mute or unsubscribe from all of your friends on social media who don't enrich your experience. If you land up getting distracted thanks to your childhood friends' anti-government screeds on Facebook, don't waste time reading them. Block them, or better yet, unfriend all of your imaginary social networking friends. Specialize in more important things. Set up your email so it won't provide you with a warning whenever something new comes in, and organize work emails and personal emails into separate folders or separate accounts to help keep everything straight. You'll not got to worry about getting sucked into a catch-up email from grandma while you're working if you are doing not see it until later. Emails shouldn't demand your immediate attention. 12. Pinpoint your emotional distractions. Not all distractions are YouTube related. Sometimes, you're focused entirely on reading that novel for English class and each one among a sudden your ex pops into your head. Game over. If you discover yourself distracted by feelings of hysteria, or common emotional ruts, learn to acknowledge your habits and better head them off at the pass. If you discover yourself distracted by a wandering mind, don't plan to tell yourself to stop, give yourself a chance. Saying, "Don't believe pink elephants," will always put a pack-eater in your mind. Let yourself believe it for a flash, let yourself be distracted, and acquire it out of your system. Then put it away. 13. Perform some quiet meditation each day. Taking a few of minutes out of your day to require a seat quietly and contemplatively can lower stress levels, help to center yourself, and quiet loud thoughts which can serve to distract you later while you're imagined to be working. If you struggle with a wandering mind, practice meditation a few of times to urge the hang of it, then develop a practice that works for you. Meditation doesn't need to involve corny chanting and incense. It's the other of complicated. Make a cup of coffee or tea and drink it on your porch and watch the sunrise every morning. Choose a quiet enter the park and sit on a bench. Just sit. Don't use now to believe everything you'd wish to attempt to do. Use now to only sit. 14. Work in the same place each day. For some people, developing a routine helps to channel productivity. If you always attend the same cafe, or always sit at the same place on the couch to undertake to your work, you'll be more productive, more able to focus, and maybe less distracted by the new environment you're experiencing whenever you've to undertake to something. Pick a neighborhood and make it your home. Alternatively, if staying cooped up within the quality office keeps you feeling restless, go elsewhere. Find a special cafe each day and let the noise of the side conversations and thus the new pastries invigorate you. Variety helps some people focus more. 15. Wait until you're feeling friction happen, then choose a walk. David Carr, a replacement York Times columnist, likes to remain writing and pushing through until he feels himself starting to hamper, until the work starts to hamper his focus. At now, continuing to work would become unproductive. Instead of banging your head against the wall, put your project away for a flash. Go outside. Walk the dog. Take an aimless trip around the neighborhood for 10 minutes. Grab a coffee and think on the matter you're encountering, but without the facility to twiddle it. When your break's over, head back refreshed. 16. Give your breaks a physical component. No one can or should sit at a computer for 10 hours straight. When you've gotten the prospect to need a chance, it's vital to use that break to undertake to something physical. Move around. Get up and choose a walk, albeit you've nowhere to travel. It might seem corny, but keeping some light hand weights in your office to use periodically while you're reading can assist you remember what you're reading more. Studies show that light exercise aids memory retention. Have a snack. Low blood sugar keeps the mind from firing on all cylinders, meaning that a few of nuts or a touch of fruit during the afternoon dip in energy will assist you revisit on track and focus. 17. Celebrate each accomplishment. Once you get something done from your list, celebrate that thing for a flash. Albeit all you give yourself could also be a pat on the rear and thus the prospect to cross it off the list definitively. Take a flash before you're doing something else to relax. You earned it. Use small celebrations for everyday things. Once you finish your project for the workday, cross it off the list and pour a glass of wine. Or shred the list entirely and burn the scraps. You're done. Let yourself go big for large accomplishments. Head bent a pleasing restaurant once you finally get all of your applications certain graduate schools, or treat yourself to something at the highest of a long-term difficult project. If you find this video useful, share it with your friends.